Before Photoshop, before dating apps, before royal weddings became tabloid circuses, there was her. Margarita Teresa of Spain, the Habsburg princess who didn't just sit pretty. She was the living, breathing brand campaign for a collapsing empire. You've probably seen her. The little girl with big eyes, stiff gowns, and more fabric than facial expression, immortalized by Velázquez in Las Meninas. But that wasn't just art. That was marketing. Each portrait, a political pitch, a royal brochure, a silent scream of, "Please marry our princess before the Habsburg bloodline folds in on itself." After the 30 Years' War, Spain was politically exhausted, economically dragging, and genetically questionable. The Habsburg dynasty was running on thin blood and thick egos. Margarita Teresa? She was their best hope. So they painted her. Again, and again, and again. Tiny versions, big versions, in dresses so wide she needed a support team just to stand still. These portraits were shipped across Europe like Tinder profiles with royal budgets. Here she is at 5, adorable, cherubic, full of promise. Here she is at 12, still cute. Don't zoom in on the chin. Here she is at 15. Okay, yes, the jaw's getting real, but look at that dowry. As she grew, so did the whispers. That infamous Habsburg chin, no longer hiding in baby fat. Her once angelic round face began to echo the family curse. The more portraits sent out, the more obvious it became. This dynasty was not aging well. But politics didn't care. Spain needed an alliance. And Margarita Teresa was the bait. And who was the lucky bachelor? Her uncle. Yes, Emperor Leopold I. Her father, Philip IV of Spain, and Leopold's father, Ferdinand III, were brothers. That made Margarita and Leopold, drumroll please, uncle and niece. Gross? Sure. But for the Habsburgs? That's just Tuesday. They had one rule: keep it in the family. Literally. Leopold was a devout Catholic, a loyal Habsburg, and a fan of family loyalty to a dangerous degree. Marrying his niece wasn't romance. It was damage control. Spain was crumbling, but it was still prestigious. And if Margarita outlived her sickly half-brother, Charles II, her children could inherit both Spain and Austria. That was the dream. So Margarita married him at 15. And if you look at their portraits, that matching Habsburg jawline, the famously protruding lower jaw, drooping lower lip, long nose, and that underbite? Copy-paste Dynasty edition. They both had it in spades, and it wasn't just family resemblance. It was the genetic endgame of centuries of cousin-on-cousin matchmaking. She became Holy Roman Empress at 17 and died at 21. Multiple pregnancies. One surviving child, Maria Antonia, who inherited the jaw, the fragility, and the impossible weight of a dying dynasty. No fairy tale, no glory, just duty. A life sold in brushstrokes, married off by strategy, and gone before she ever got to be anything more than a symbol. History remembers her as a muse, a model, a monarch's pretty pawn. But behind every layer of silk and pearl in those portraits was a girl. A girl with pressure on her back, pain on her face, and zero say in her own fate. So yes, Margarita Teresa was a princess. But more than that, she was a brand, a bargaining chip, and a walking emblem of a dynasty begging to stay relevant. And in the end, she didn't save it.